Alright, so here we are with another Coleman Outdoors build video, and I'm not quite sure if this is the channel for these sort of things, but right now I've got just the one channel. I'm going to stick with it and see what kind of feedback I get. Not to be redundant, but I'm going to make another sign today, and I've been meaning to do this one for a while, so sort of along the same lines as before. Got this nice sandblasted redwood. I created another stencil. This one's a little bit more detailed. I didn't have an illustrator version of this design, so I just printed an inkjet on a piece of cardstock, cut that all out by hand with a razor blade. And so I'm going to get some spray adhesive here. Okay, so I put an excessive amount of adhesive on here, so let's hope it sticks, because if it doesn't stick well, it's going to make spraying that stencil on there a nightmare. Burnish it down with my fingers. Got this rubbed on here. Let's hope it stays on good, and it looks like it's going to probably come off pretty easy too. So here we go. Zoom in a little bit so you can get some views there. I'm using my airbrush to spray this on my... I don't know, maybe we should just call it good. So we'll see how this works with the router. Alright, here we are. We're ready to do some routing. There's the image. I've got that here for reference. It's been a couple days since I put this on the board. Been busy. We'll just have to see how it turns out. Maybe it's going to be firewood by the time we're done, but here we go. Not done, but as you can see, done most of the big letters, all the big letters. I have to lower the depth on the blade or the bit a bit in some of these areas where the contour of the wood is going like that, but it's going to take a couple passes. But I haven't hit the small letters, which are going to be insanely difficult. Here and actually clean out all this area with a little bit wider bit and go a little bit deeper in some of the areas, but you can see that the real small letters are a little rough. That's okay. Here's the profile bit. Look how narrow this is. This is what I've cut the profile, hence profile bit, and then this just I think this is a 60 or 90 degree. It's one of the two. But basically a V groove. Obviously it's easier to clean out the areas you don't want all that wood. So we'll go ahead and do that.
It's still not done. There's going to need to be some touch-up. Take the wire brush to it right now, clean up some of it, take some of the loose pieces off, which will probably come off in the cleanup. Overspray and clean up all the loose wood, because obviously, as you can see, going over it with the wire brush sort of tore away some of the stuff that was well defined. I think it looks pretty cool, even worn away, but it is a little bit hard to see in spots. So some cleanup and some paint to get it to its perfect stage. Right, I'm out here in my messy garage, ready to cut this thing out. So as you can see, the carving is all done. A sculpting tool, actually, believe it or not, a little clay sculpting tool to clean up around a bit. I used a Dremel with a real tiny bit to kind of clean up around these letters. As you can see, they're not perfection, but that's sort of the beauty of the wooden sign, outdoorsy sign. It's a little bit more organic. If I had a CNC router, it'd probably be perfect, and you probably wouldn't get as nice a feel on the sign. But anyway, we're going to cut it out here on the bandsaw, and then we'll take it over to the oscillating belt sander, clean up the edges, and then come back and hit that little scalloped edge with the router. Scalloped edges are carved, sanded a little bit to soften it up and take some of the splinteries out, but there's still splinters in there. So now I'm going to paint it. It's so nice out and calm. Everyone's gone off to see a movie. Figured I'd sit out here in the sun and paint. Liquitex basic acrylic. It's pretty good, I suppose. I don't really paint pictures a whole lot. I've had in the past, but not really a big picture painter. This sort of thing's more my style. But I'm going to water it down. It goes on a lot easier.
can see, there's a little bit more that's been done on the sign. If you look real close, the grain is sort of highlighted, and that was done by taking some just regular Minwax wood finish stain. In fact, it was gun stock color if you're curious. And I basically took the rag and then just sort of dry wiped. In the painting sense, you'd call it a dry brush technique, but basically sort of hit the highlights with the semi-damp rag. That way it brought those out and sort of deepened the color a little bit too, because it looks a lot nicer. And that's it. That's the sign. Background on what this sign means and what the logo, the Southern California Six-Pack of Peaks Challenge, is by an individual named Jeff Hester. His website says 10 years ago he was preparing to through hike the John Muir Trail, and so he wanted to come up with some training hikes. A few years later, that it was such a neat thing that he would turn it into a sort of social networking thing. So he created a website with some information on what hikes to do, and then turned it into an official challenge. And so this is the 5th year. Anybody can hike whatever mountain they want, but to be part of this sort of social network, you can join his website and hike these peaks in any order you want. There's alternative peaks. It's a lot of fun. It's neat interacting with other people online. For those that might be interested in a Six-Pack of Peaks challenge and you don't live in the Southern California area, check the socialhiker.net website, because there are several other Six-Packs challenges that have been developed throughout the country, one all the way in New England. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this video. Please click the likes button if you enjoyed this, and feel free to comment and give me any suggestions on what you might like to see next. That being said, now go outside and do something.